We welcome you in to the Small Ball Podcast alongside Trevor Micklin and Christian Dennis. I'm Scott Ayers. We've got producer Andy behind the scenes. And fellas, just a week away from the trade deadline. Still no major moves yet in the NBA landscape.
No moves. We're waiting. It'll happen next week, I believe.
I feel like the whole NBA is just waiting for next week. Like, it's just like Christmas is around the corner and you're just like so excited for your presents, but it's like, can't really do anything.
It's the worst period.
I'll say this. The next 7 days are going to be fun for teams because, and fans, we are going to see the craziest rumors. We're going to hear names. We're going to hear smoke screens. We're going to hear a ton of stuff. It's going to be entertaining.
Well, and I was just about to say, it's really entertaining, but it's also worse because you'll have the NBA Central, you have the NBA Centel, that's the parody account of NBA Central, and it is just absolute nonsense that gets tweeted for the next 7 days. And it will either get some explosions like Harden for Simmons-esque, or it will be very low-key, and the biggest name moved is like Kelly Olynyk.
It's going to be wild, too, seeing like all these players that sit in the next, few days. Because, and this could literally just be injury management, they're sick or stuff like that. But, like, now that everyone's sitting, it's like, oh, are they getting traded? Like, all the, speculations are going to pop up. And, like Malcolm Brogdon right now he's sitting tonight because they played last night. It's like, wait, where's Brogdon going? Is he getting traded this week?
Right.
Joel Embiid sitting? Is he getting moved? What's going on?
Is New York going to pull it off?
Yeah, please. So it is a very exciting time during we've mentioned it last week, this is kind of the slow season of the NBA. The trade deadline comes at the perfect time because then it piques all of our interests again where it's like, oh, wait, this is about to get fun. But even with that, we've had some interesting couple of games in the NBA. We saw PJ Washington score over 40 points, and it has created this topic that I didn't think we'd ever get here, but the question, is there a scoring problem in the NBA? Christian, let me just ask you, is there a scoring problem in the NBA right now?
No. I don't think there's a scoring problem because the whole point of the game is to score. If anything, this quote-unquote problem is great for the league. It's great for entertainment. I mean, as much as we want to claim that, basketball is a sport and, it's all about the heart of competition, at the end of the day, it's entertainment. And whatever brings in the most money is what the NBA is going to do. So if you have PJ Washington dropping 43 points, that's awesome. We kind of expect it from guys like Devin Booker, who's dropped 62 the other night in a loss. Cat dropped 62 in a loss. And then, Embiid dropped 73 in a win. But that was against the Spurs, so that's expected.
It is interesting, though, because it has been just a crazy couple of weeks of scoring, but it's not abnormal to see random role players having big nights. TJ Warren, if we remember, in the bubble, had 53 points. Granted, people then said, well, in the bubble, anything can happen. But that has happened throughout basketballs. Random guys can get theirs any given night. It's just going to be more likely now because the level of talent in the NBA is far greater than it has ever been in the league's history.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to think about, too, honestly, we just heard a massive burp from
insane.
the other room. Yeah,
it was nuclear.
I almost tried to keep going. Yeah, that was crazy.
That was insane.
But even looking at last year's points per game totals, there's we're not doing this again, man.
I'm just sitting here.
We're just listening.
He had a little smirk on his face.
Just thinking about some poor viewers, the 8 people who listen to this.
Yeah.
They're sitting there and they just hear
They're not hearing that.
No. We'll have to add it in.
Yeah, Andy added in a fake burp.
Add in a fake burp just so they can understand how powerful. Trevor's pointing. He's like,
you're not going to do
that.
I'm downloading it right now.
As I was saying, last season there were 4 players, or there were 6 players that average over 30 points per game. This season there's only 4. So it's not like there's this crazy thing. Like Scott was saying, I think that's just the modern basketball era. Lots of talent, lots of guys are scoring. It's not different any this year than it was last year or the 2 years, 3 years prior. I just think that maybe people are noticing it.
Yeah.
And it's going to continue to happen.
And there's just crazy overreaction. The overreaction to Luka's 73 points was ridiculous. It was, oh yeah, no, the NBA huge problem. When we had seen it just a couple nights before with Embiid against a much worse Spurs team.
And it's Luka Doncic.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's not crazy.
Luka is considered by many to be the future face of this league, on the brink of already being it, and is a phenomenal player. DeJounte Murray and co. did their best defensively, but there's just that one.
I don't think DeJounte
DeJounte didn't even play.
didn't play, but Trae Young did.
Trae Young did, but
And the Hawks are notorious for not playing defense.
They're a terrible team.
Like, it was 148 to 143.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of scoring.
Also, just side quest real quick.
side quest.
Trae Young is him. Just have to say that. Remember, I'm a big Trae Young guy. He's playing great. Hawks are booty cheeks. They are so bad. They're like 4 or 8 games under 500. Eight. Terrible.
I saw a report today
I like that.
that Quinn Snyder doesn't want to move DeJounte. That's kind of interesting.
Very interesting.
Why?
Very interesting.
I don't. He
It's
likes
not working.
He likes DeJounte.
All right.
Maybe Quinn's trying to push the narrative of maybe we trade Trae.
No.
That'd be wild.
We haven't talked about this, I don't think, on the show.
I like this.
I've heard the rumors that the Spurs are interested in DeJounte.
Oh yeah,
that
I've
right
also
there-
heard trade to the Spurs too.
Okay, well, if DeJounte goes back there, how cool would that be? With him and Pop, they left on good terms. Like, all that stuff. He was beloved. He was beloved in San Antonio. And for him to go away for a couple years, come back, now they have Wemby. He let them tank for a little bit. That would be cool.
I would love it just because I think it'd be hilarious to see DeJounte go back to the Spurs and then all the people just bash on the Hawks for giving up like 3 picks to get
Yes.
DeJounte and then
it not
like
working.
and then they don't even get like 3 picks back. Like, it's like they get like maybe 1 or 2 back or something. It's like,
Yeah, and man, wouldn't DeJounte just do wonders for
oh my gosh.
for Victor? Just because we've talked about it at times on this show, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sohan, they don't want to give him the basketball. It's unbelievable.
You know who does give him the basketball? Trey Jones.
Trey Jones does.
Shout out Trey Jones.
Trey Jones been playing really well, and it's great to see that Pop decides to play a point guard instead of having the Jeremy Sohan experience.
Yeah, it's amazing what that will do for you. But needless to say, guys, I don't think there's a scoring problem in the NBA.
I'm with you, Scott.
Do you agree with that?
No.
No, I mean, I think it's great. It's fun. It's now it's like, who's next? Who's going to be the next person to score 60, 70? Are we going to see an 80? Can we get all the way up to 100?
100.
Will that ever be broken? That's like the way the NBA is headed. And the thing is too, is like, I mean, some of these players like heavily base their style of play off of getting to the free throw line. Like that one, that's kind of lame. I like the way that, you know, how Cat did it, you know, or like where he was just on fire. He had 44 at halftime. He was just
He
shooting
was like
threes.
6 of 6 from 3. It was unbelievable. Which kind of leads you kind of mentioned it. Is there a player right now in the NBA who can score 100 points in a game?
My brain goes to Corey Kispert initially.
Yes, facts.
No, shout out Corey Kispert. He's balling this
Yeah,
year.
we
Shooting-
love Corey.
Yeah, shooting 38% from deep. But
Such a random poll.
we like Corey on
I
this
love
pod.
Corey. He's handsome.
He is.
He's very handsome. He needs free Corey Kispert.
Free Corey
Corey.
Kispert. Come join the show, Corey.
Yeah.
We hear you're a great guy.
He would thrive on this podcast.
Yeah, he would
You
have a
think
good
he'd be
time.
friends with us?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think so.
He looks like he golfs. We golf.
We golf.
We're not like good, but like we're good time.
100%. To answer your question, who could score 100 points?
and I'm not guarding him.
You're not guarding them. I would say if I had to choose one guy, if I had to put my money, if that's what we're doing, I had to put my money on one guy to score 100 points. I'm putting it on Steph Curry.
Really?
I think Steph Curry. I think Steph is the one.
I was not expecting that one. No.
I know his points. You know, he doesn't have the highest career high in the league from active players right now. But I think if there's one guy who is going to go nuclear in a game, your best bet is going to be with Steph Curry. Given he's just going to he's got it in the tank still to just put up threes and they just find their way in the basket. Like, I don't know. I would say Steph. That's my answer.
I think I would say Luka.
Yeah.
I think Luka, and he showed, hey, I can get to 70. He's unbelievable. And he did it at a highly efficient rate, too, against the Hawks. All it takes, you get one really bad defense. You yourself also, that's the key to getting 100 points. Not only do you have to play against a bad defensive team.
The key for something that's happened once.
Yeah.
I have the key. And not enough people follow my key.
No.
Not only do you have to play against a bad defense, you yourself have to be very bad defensively.
Save your energy.
Not only are you saving your energy, but if it's not a close game, guess who's sitting in the fourth? You idiot, because you're up 30 points.
Very true.
It has to be within about 15 points, really, for when you check back in the fourth. Then coach will let you play until, a minute, 2 minutes if it becomes a blowout.
Wow.
You like that?
I hope Luka's taking notes.
Luka, you did it perfectly against Atlanta, but it wasn't enough. I need more.
Atlanta, I feel like Atlanta is the team that it gets broken on too. Because they're good enough offensively to keep themselves in a game, but they're not going to play defense. And that's why I think the player that can potentially break 100, Joel Embiid. I think he's selfish enough and good enough to want to break that record.
I actually agree with that, because not only that, he does something better than any other player in the NBA. Get to the free throw line.
Yeah.
Stop the clock.
Foul merchant.
2 free throws. Stop the clock. 2 free throws. 3 ball.
I was listening to Zach Lowe's podcast, and they were talking about Joel Embiid, and I forgot who was on the show, but he was saying that Joel Embiid is like Kevin Durant, but 100 pounds heavier. And it's if you think about it, Embiid is just cash when it comes to the mid-range. And he's taller than everyone. No one's really blocking his shot or contesting it. He could take it outside of the three. He's going to draw the foul. He's going to get to the free throw line. He's going to be dominant near the rim. That's why I think Embiid could do it, just because we see what Embiid is doing now. I mean, he just had 73. He's putting up crazy stats. He also sits a ton. So I feel like he only cares about his personal accolades more than anything. He comes across none of this will matter if we don't get out of the second round. I kind of don't buy that when I hear it from Embiid. I feel like he cares about the personal stuff
For sure.
more than the team stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it relates well, considering just a couple nights ago, he is not on the injury report. There were tweets that he, in a game previous, that he hurt his left knee, and then 15 minutes before the game, they scratched him with an injury to his right knee. Mm-hmm. Or it was one or the other. It was hurt his right knee, flip-flop. Yeah. And so...
Get your knees right, man.
Yeah, get your knees right. And I don't doubt that he wasn't hurt. He is someone who has sustained injuries. And this is a whole different tangent that we don't need to get into. But, it just goes into, what are we doing? You haven't played in Denver since 2019. It's just become the overarching story for Joel Embiid, a phenomenal basketball player who it just doesn't get it done for a lot of people because of things like that.
You know what? Joel Embiid, you're over 25, dude. Your knees hurt every day. That's just how it is. As soon as you turn 25, everything just starts hurting. So it's you got to play through that. It's hard to hear oh, he's not playing because of injury management. And it's okay, how hurt are you? Like, are you actually hurt, or is it just like, oh, my knee's kind of sore today, I don't want to play? Like, that's such a like broad term,
Right.
and and I'm glad the NBA is actually looking into this. There's report that NBA is going to investigate this because the game that he missed in Denver was on national TV. Like,
For rivalry week.
It was a big game. Everyone wanted to see Embiid versus Jokic, especially because Embiid got the better of Jokic and the Nuggets in Philly. But it's like, oh, you just don't play in Denver? Like, that's really questionable. It's kind of sus.
And he's done it now 4 years in a row. And because people will say, well, Embiid's 6-2 against Jokic. And it's like, well, the over majority of those wins are in Philadelphia. And another argument was, well, Maxey and Tobias were out. So why play? And it's like, in the regular season, you guys know this. You guys have a running bit as Kings fans. When you see another team's starting lineup is out, you go, the Kings are going to lose this game. Because guys, when they see that the other team is banged up in the regular season, they take a night off. They kind of coast. Every regular season game is winnable, especially if you have the reigning MVP. So I thought that was a really bad argument. It's just disappointing. That's probably one of the most expensive nights that you can go to Ball Arena for that game, a Saturday game between two of the best teams in the NBA.
Honestly, next year, Philly, Embiid, let's circle the Denver game in Denver, and let's prepare Embiid so that he could play that game. Maybe he sits the night before or the 2 nights before so that he is ready for that game, because it's ridiculous that he's notorious for missing that game.
That game. And I just want to harp on it one more time. The fact that he wasn't on the injury report, he wasn't playing a back-to-back game, and was on the court warming up, and 15 minutes before is scratched. And now it's like, now Ramona Shelburne or whatever her name is on ESPN is, oh, actually he couldn't jump, and he's the one who said, no, keep me off the injury report. I'm like, what are we doing?
How much is Embiid paying you, Ramona?
This is a sports organization. Embiid is like, keep me off the injury report just to scratch him. It's so dumb. It's just bad. It's such a bad look for the NBA. And, I've been outspoken about the scheduling, about the reffing. My main man, Adam Silver, needs to lock in. He just got an extension.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I didn't hear any news of Adam Silver's extension.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was up for an extension.
You didn't hear Sham's announcement?
No.
Just kidding. I don't know how that gets announced. I feel like the NBA would just put out a press report.
You saw it, though, Trev?
No, I didn't know this, but I would just say about Adam Silver,
yes.
Listen, yeah, there are issues in the league, but my goodness, I feel I like Adam Silver. He's a guy that's for the players. We have issues. Listen,
yesterday got an extension. Woj tweeted it. I'm back.
We have had issues this year, and in previous years, there are things that are, need to be adjusted. I think he will, in due time, address those issues. He's a great commissioner.
No, yeah, I love Adam. I mean, the fact that he put in the 65 game limit just to be
great move,
MVP, all NBA, all that stuff, I think is great, because we're seeing players that have sat out in years past are now playing. Like, look at Kawhi Leonard. I mean, maybe this is all because of health, but Kawhi Leonard's been awesome this year. Anthony Davis is having a great year. I mean, the Lakers are buns, which is awesome, but AD's playing great.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Compared especially to the other commissioners, Adam Silver's probably number one. But if it's something you love, you want to see it get better and better.
That's right, Scott.
I never want to get complacent with the product we have.
Amen.
Because the second that happens, then we run into the load of issues you see in some of the other sports.
Amen.
But I totally agree. The NBA is in a much better spot because of Adam Silver. I just want some of these things to get better. Like, why am I going on a back-to-back from Atlanta to who was it?
The Hawks the Mavericks played in Atlanta. Luka dropped 73. The next day, Luka's playing in Dallas against the Kings.
Yeah. Shout out Luka.
Shout out Luka.
Hey,
Luka
good job,
podcast.
Luka. Keegan Murray locked you down, but good job, man.
Off night. Used to do-
Luka had a good night.
Not when he was guarded by Keegan.
Not by our guy
Sure.
Regan.
Maybe.
Bang.
I'd be curious about the stats on that.
I mean, I could try to find it.
Yeah,
Pull that
I
up.
bet you someone tweeted
That'll
that.
be something we can talk about after the pod.
That's what I pulled up was a tweet that said Adam Silver extended. No big deal. Now, there is one other thing I think we should talk about, and they're not frauds, but they could be put on a fraud watch list.
Yeah.
Because it's their first year really tangoing with the big dogs. The Minnesota Timberwolves, the Oklahoma City Thunder, both with bad losses within the last week.
Yeah.
The T-Wolves cat, he said, I'll drop 62 in a loss to the Charlotte Hornets. The Oklahoma City Thunder, they play one of the worst teams in NBA history, the Detroit Pistons, and get the brakes beaten off of them. Now, that happens in the NBA. Losses happen. But it's just a little bit more questionable when it's two teams that have never gotten it done before. So, Christian, I'll start with you on this. Thunder, Wolves, thoughts?
These losses have kind of made me start to question the legitimacy of these two teams in terms of their playoff run. The Wolves losing to the Hornets. Now, the Hornets were frisky. Scott's word right there.
They are.
They were.
What is that word? Like they were what? Good at one point in the season.
Frisky.
Interesting.
Like they're like
Scrappy.
They're tough. they're not an easy out.
Okay.
Like they're gonna make it.
Frisky. I gotcha.
They're gonna make it a little difficult for you to beat them. So like that one is like kind of like, I mean, the Hornets have beaten good teams this year, so that doesn't necessarily like surprise me, but it's what Chris Finch said after the game that has made me kind of question the Wolves. And he essentially said like, oh, they saw that Embiid was dropping 73, so they were essentially trying to feed Cat to try to get Cat to beat Embiid's record or beat Embiid's score that night.
I love that.
I will say, if this podcast was playing in an open gym and I knew Trevor had 50 at half, I am telling you to shoot every possession.
Yes, bro. I love that. That makes me like them.
So essentially, I mean, they were just trying to feed Cat so that
fun.
Cat could try to win. And
Yeah.
funny enough, like because of that style of play, if you go back and watch the game, like Cat is like sitting in the fourth quarter with like 3 minutes to go because all he's doing is just trying to score and shot chuck, and he's not taking like the best, shot. He's not playing within the flow of offense. So that's where I'm a little.
Was Chris Finch angry about that?
Yeah, he was really mad about it.
Oh,
he was
wow.
pissed off. He was like, "This was disgusting basketball."
Whoa.
Yeah, Finch was frisky.
Frisky Finch is what they're calling him.
Really?
Yeah.
So I think that there might still be a little like immaturity in the Wolves, on the Wolves team that can kind of get in the way of the success that they can have in the playoffs.
I just looked up definition of frisky, and I'm imagining this for Chris Finch. Playful and full of energy. Chris Finch.
Is there a second definition?
No, but it gives an example of how to use it. It goes, he bounces around like a frisky little pup. Chris Finch.
He's frisky.
That's a weird sentence.
Yeah. Anyways.
So yeah, that's my concern with the Wolves. And then from the Thunder's perspective, it's not that they lost to the Pistons that is more of a concern. To me, it's the amount they lost by. Like they lost by like 20 to the Pistons. I mean, granted, way back when Cade Cunningham said we're not 0-24 bad. It's like, oh, no, you're
You're
kind of
0-24 bad.
Yeah.
But do you know who didn't play in that game?
Cade.
Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, he didn't play that game. So that's just like more my concern with the Thunder is like, dude, you guys lost by like 20. I do want to point out though that in the month of January, the Pistons have won 4 games. kind of wild. And I also just want to point out, Miami Heat have only won 5. So
Hey.
Wow, Christian, that's a great fact.
Miami Heat 6-game losing streak.
Wow.
Heat culture.
No
culture, baby.
friskiness in heat culture. Trev.
What, to just reopen what he opened?
Yeah, well, reopen something that's open. Yeah.
Got you. Yeah, I like what Christian said. I think that the immaturity of the Wolves was on display. Probably not something that is good for a team that's wanting to go deep into the playoffs. And then as far as the Thunder, I feel like I would probably, I don't think that they're going to be a team that goes deep anyways right now,
Facts.
even before that loss. I think that this is more of a statement season for them to be like, we are on the scene. And they don't even know how good the players are that they have on their roster. We don't know how good J-Dub could be. We don't know really how good Chet could be. So to me, this is a defining season for them rather than a serious contending season.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to describe OKC, and we see that happen with teams. The Utah Jazz a couple years ago, they got bounced in the second round, but they were the number 1 seed. That happens where teams, this is kind of a defining up-and-coming season. It makes me think of like the Paul George Pacers way back when. That
Grizzlies, Kings,
Yes.
all those guys have
Exactly.
gone through that.
Yeah, the Kings last year was a great defining season. So I don't think anyone they see OKC as the 1 or 2 seed right now. Don't think anyone thinks they're the number 1 or number 2 team in the West. I think right now it's the LA Clippers as the number 1 team.
Dude, it's Clippers and the Nuggets. And then for a split second, I was like, wait, the Phoenix Suns might be something. But then they went back down to reality.
Yes.
Suns are going to sun.
Yeah, they are. Booker, this is my last thing. Cat got a lot of heat for scoring 62 and shot chucking. Devin Booker scored 62 and they lost as well. And we didn't hear anything. And do you know who took a really bad last-second shot at the end of that game?
Who?
Devin Booker.
Really?
That's just what I'm saying. I don't know. This is just what my eyes are saying.
I'll say this with the Suns, just quick.
I like this.
If the Suns peak at the right time, they got a chance.
Yeah, I agree.
They're going to be freaking nice.
They went on like a 5 or 6 game win streak.
Oh,
and
trust me, as a Kings fan, I know they did that.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, frick. Did the Suns figure it out?
Right. Yeah, but then they've come back recently. But if they can find that magic, whatever they found in that 5-game streak in the playoffs, any team is in trouble.
Yeah. Agreed. I think what might kill them is their death by 1,000 cuts of just taking only deep and contested 2s. I don't know who that will be their demise for. I don't see them winning a championship with that motto. They have a bunch of guys who love taking mid-range shots. In this day and age, you need to take a bunch of threes. Not too many, but much more than what they do. I think they had like 6 threes the other day in a game they lost.
They do need to get that number up, but at the same time, like I feel like in the playoffs, the mid-range is where the money's at. Because that's just like that's where the tough shots are. Because everyone all season is practicing layups and threes. Playoffs come around, they tighten up on the 3-pointers to where the mid-range is more open, and that's where we see guys kind of, show that they're playoff ready. But yeah, in the regular season, it's like you need to shoot more threes. But the more you shoot threes, the more it opens up in the middle.
That's the thing, though. They don't shoot threes, so teams are they take it's the most contested 2s. I was trying to make like a comparison of how covered and blanketed they are. It's like Trevor on a romantic date. That's how blanketed and covered they are.
Wow.
You like that?
Yeah. I love it.
I'll be your girlfriend. Here's that.
Does she listen?
No.
What?
No.
But it's small ball.
I know.
Has she ever listened?
No.
Did you tell her that you have a podcast?
She knows. She knows about the reels.
Does she know we're trying to get sponsored?
Yeah, no, I'll talk to her tonight. I'll let her know. I also have something else to talk about. I have 2 things, actually.
Oh, I like this.
I just want to quickly go around and, the 100-point thing, recircle back to that for 2 seconds. All right? Okay. I want each of us to...
I like this.
Do you think that we will see 100 points record, that record broken, in the next 5 years? Christian?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
I don't think we will. So I just wanted to get that on the record. We've talked enough about that. Number 2.
I was just gonna say something crazy. Can I say my statement
Yeah.
again?
Yeah, go for it.
No.
What?
Wait. I just wanna,
wait, hold on. You actually don't think you just want to
Let
the record show?
Let the record show. I do not think it's gonna be
Okay.
perfect.
I say no. Christian says yes.
I was gonna put on the record that in the past of small ball, if me and Scott agree on something, normally that happens.
It's true. It's
But
actually
now
Do you
I'm
wanna
not
circle-
sure.
do you
So
wanna
is it
circle
yes or
back
no?
again?
Oh gosh.
For the record.
I'm going to circle back one more time. Yes.
There we go.
For the record.
That's for the record.
Also, number 2. Shout out to my boy, Will the Thrill Barton.
Yes.
Shout out Will Barton. He signed overseas to some team today.
He's in Russia.
Yeah.
Moscow.
American
Ready to
Spy.
learn Russian.
Oh, I like this. But he started in a playoff series like 2 years ago. And now he's in Russia.
Shout.
Hey,
Will
life moves quick.
Yeah.
Will the Thrill
Welcome
Barton.
to Russia. Welcome to Russia.
Yeah. Gosh, thank you for that shout out.
You're welcome.
You needed that. Anything else, guys?
Still listening to Vampire, Scott?
Oh,
Just
no,
checking in.
actually, no, I'm not. I'm listening to, you know, that Adam Devine song? If I got locked away,
Yeah.
would you tell me
Came out
honestly?
in like high school,
That
right?
came out a long time ago. And Scott, we're in his Tesla. Scott drives a Tesla.
Yeah, humble
We're-
brag.
we're in his Tesla, and he goes, "Let me show you the song." Plays that song. I'm like, Scott, did you think I had never heard this before? It's
so good.
Also, one more thing. One more thing. We're going to start this. Scott and I talked about this. You need to catch up. We're going to start this thing coming on this show.
What are we doing on the show?
We're going to talk about The Bachelor. So The
nice.
Bachelor just got up and running. It'll be like a 5 to 10 minute segment each week of what we saw in The Bachelor, what our thoughts are on this guy. Do you remember his name?
Joey.
Joey. I got Daisy going to the finals.
Dude, I like Daisy too.
Daisy and yeah.
Locke and
yeah.
Lexi.
Yeah, you like Lexi.
Go-kart chick, right?
No, that's
Jesse?
Jenna.
Jenna.
Who's the
Lexi's the golfer.
Who's
Oh,
the
also have her going far.
Who's the girl that like threw the card in the fire to steal away the whole?
Oh, she's good.
she's
she's
a
Laura.
lock for a
Yeah.
while.
Laura.
Yeah,
No, I
she's
can't be
Leia.
Laura.
But she's a
Leia.
whiner.
Elena.
No. Leia.
No, it's Leia. You're right.
She's a whiner. Get her
What?
off. Yeah, she's a whiner.
Andy.
Get out of here, bro.
Who's crying over? I don't want to.
Krista T. Krista T's a sleeper.
No.
Oh, you do have her going deep.
Krista T. We have a bracket like March Madness. She's in the final two.
Hold on, I'm gonna pull up the cast really quick.
Yeah.
Christian.
cast.
So, anyways, yeah, we'll keep you guys on your toes.
Tonight's a
Scott's
big
gonna pull
night.
some up. Tonight is a big night.
Are you going to watch party tonight?
I'm
Jeff?
not.
Okay, I'll go.
All right.
Are you gonna
Janelle,
watch party?
Janelle watches it, so
Cool.
I'm gonna be watching the Kings game and then like kind of popping back and forth. To get
Respect.
caught up.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is something that we need to talk about more going forward. Yeah, Jen, I'm getting this on the record. For the record, Jen is my champ.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Also, one more thing. Just recap. It is crazy. It is crazy that they have a sister duo on the show.
crazy.
Yes.
Dating Joey.
Yes.
So there are sisters on
And
the
the
show
girls
dating
don't
the same
know.
guy. No, they told them at the end of episode
I
one.
didn't watch the end of it.
And guess what? Guess what? Older sister's on a date with Joe on a one-on-one convo with Joey.
Bang.
Before the convo, she's talking. She goes, "I want to kiss him before my sister does."
Yeah.
Alyssa. So this girl's Lauren. That's her name.
Yeah.
Lauren's talking to Joey, flirting, trying to kiss him.
And
she's
Allison.
like about to do it. Allison walks up. Hey, can I steal Joey for a second?
Bang.
To the sister.
Bang.
Ooh, drama.
But not only that, Trevor.
What happened?
Not only that, Allison, after talking to Joey and getting to know him, guess what she does?
What?
What did she do?
She kisses Joey.
No.
She kissed him
Bang.
before Lauren, her sister.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's a storyline.
That is.
You think it was scripted?
No.
No, this show's not scripted.
This is real. This is love.
This is love. This is
someone's
love at
love.
its
This is
finest.
someone's life.
It's someone's Tinderella.
Yeah. Anyways,
No, that was nice.
I have officially no more things.
I have one more thing.
Yeah, Christian.
yes. Bang.
So next week we're gonna next week we're gonna do a podcast on Monday that we always do, and we're gonna have a super special episode dropping Thursday.
Why Thursday?
Because it's the NBA NBA trade deadline.
Oh, so a recap of the trade deadline.
Yes.
That sounds like
Yes.
something I need to tune into.
Yes, yeah. So
Wow.
I expect to see an episode probably Friday morning, because that's normally
Thursday
our-
night, Friday morning.
Yeah, one of the two.
Andy's
Trevor
locked.
might not be there.
I won't be there for work reasons.
So that is that's a mark on the board.
It's not. That doesn't
No,
count.
100% a
It's
mark
a
on
show.
the board.
You said it's a show
Hey,
special.
say it's a family thing. Say it's a family thing.
It's a work thing. It's a family
Hey,
work thing.
we've all missed shows because of work.
Christian,
Andy's missed it 'cause
Christian,
of work.
it's a
I've missed it.
special. You said it was a trade show special.
Yeah, but what does the board say?
It's for missed shows.
Shows.
Thank you. This
So
is a
you
special. This isn't a show.
This is a show.
No, you just said it. You,
You
talked
just said trade show special.
you talked yourself into a whole bucko.
You just
rocks.
said trade show special.
Kick
AKA
rocks.
show.
Kick rocks. You lost.
All right,
Everyone let us
all
know.
Andy-
Andy,
yeah.
let's
Yeah.
take a vote. Let's take a vote.
We'll let the fans vote.
Yeah, let's take
And
a vote.
whoever gets the most
No one is
tally,
listening past our Bachelor
they
content.
say if they say Trev needs a tally, that's one vote. Yes. If they say Trev is innocent, it's one vote. No.
And if there's no voting, then it's a yes.
I think we are the only ones that care about the tallies. We kicked off so many shows talking about tallies, and I just imagine listeners like, these guys are talking about these tally things again. I'm out after a minute.
I think they're into it.
Hey,
Yeah.
but thanks for the listen.
Thanks.
Counts.
No, after only like if you listen to 12% of the show or some number like that.
So
Yeah.
we need to
Shows
bring
have
it
been
up in
going
like the
on.
middle of the
Exactly.
episode.
That's with anything. You need to hook them in, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and what hurts us is our shows have been going longer.
Yeah.
Oh, frick. Andy,
Well, hey, but it's okay that we're going long, Scott. Why do you want them
because
to
you
be
care
short?
about the listens.
Why-
I don't.
why do you-
Andy, go ahead.
you know what? Just circling back onto this.
Yes.
NBA stat of the day. Bucks fired their coach Adrian Griffin.
Bang.
He's the third winningest coach in the NBA to be fired of all time. First one was David Blatt, Cavs. 2015-2016 went on to win the championship, and Jack McKinney from the Lakers in 1979 to 1980 also went on to win a championship.
Wow.
Will Doc Rivers bring a championship to Milwaukee? Just quick yeses. and
For
nos.
the record, no.
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 Fair enough.
Health check. Uh-oh, the patient's dead.
What? Because his name's Doc.
Because his name's
His
Doc.
name's Doc.
And the patient is a championship run.
Deceased.
Deceased. R.I.P. All right, I think we really covered everything. For our great producer, Andy, Trevor Micklin, and Christian Ennis, I'm Scutters. We say so long for now. We will see you next week.
Wait, I want to circle back one more thing.